Friend, Assalamu alaikum. Friend, this is my class 8 of Postgres database. In this class, we will discuss the performance troubleshooting part 2 for PostgreSQL database. Now let's start. In this class, we will discuss these three options and we will also perform some practical how we can do this option in our environment. Okay, the first one is we need to optimize the queries. That is a very important option we need to perform in our database for optimizing the performance of our database. Okay, second one is very important. You can also get the performance by the increase the memory parameters of database. And the last one, we will also discuss this. We have to check the OS level CPU and IO. Okay. Now let's do it in our environment. By the use of this statement, we can check the active sessions of our database. Now let's execute this statement. I will use upper window for the monitoring and the lower window for execution of our statement. Okay. So currently we have only one active session in our database. Now let's execute some query for fetching some records. Okay. Then let's execute this query. Select from person where address is equals to address one. Okay. Okay. So this query has been executed. If you see the wait event of this query is IO, the wait event type is IO and the wait event is data file read. Okay, means this query is performing IO operation on my data files. Okay, so now let's check the execution plan of this query. First, we check the explan of this query. This is my query which I have execute. Now let's check the execution plan of this query. Okay, if I see the parallel SEQ scan on a person means that this query is performing the full table scan. Okay, due to this, the IO operation is performing. Okay, means this query is reading complete table. Okay, so there is a problem. Okay, let's execute the another query. This is select star from the person where NIC numbers. Okay, okay, and let's check the execution plan for this query. Expand plan for this one. If you compare the both execution plan, in this execution plan, this parallel SEQ scan on the person, but in this execution plan, the index scan is using IDX IDX underscore NIC on the person. Means this query is using the index. Okay, it's not performing a full table scan on the table, but this query is not using any index. Okay, now let's check the index of this table. Okay, by the use of this statement, select star from PG index. Now let's check the how many index we have on this table. Okay, We have only two index on this table, IDX and IC. Okay, so we need to create an index on it. Okay, now let's create an index, and that after create the index, we can check the execution plan. Okay, before creating index, I also want to show you explain analysis, expand analyze. Okay, and we have two options, explain and expand analyze. Expand analyze is a more beautiful option. If I execute, it will extract more option for us. It will also show you how many rows will be extract. It will show the actual execution time of this query. Okay, so we can better find out the performance issue by the use of expand analyze. Okay, we can also get more performance finding by the use of this one. Okay, so I recommend you to use explain analyze for this, check the explain plan of this query. Okay, so it will show the execution time, it will also show the cost, and it will also show the rows, a number of rows they will return. Okay, so now let's execute the index statement. Okay, let's create index. I have a statement, and now let's create an index on the address. Okay, now let's create on the index on this right there. Okay, we can also monitor this one. So currently create index is running. Okay, this is active session. It's still active. You can monitor it by the use of this statement. Now let's wait for the execution, and now check the explain plan again for this. Now index has been created. Now let's check the execution plan of this query. You should see now it's using index. Okay, index scan using something. Okay, so now there's no any full table scan performing on this query. So we have resolved the, the issue of this query. Okay, first we execute the statement and check the expand plan of this query, and we find out the IO issue and find out the full table scan performing on this table by the use of this query, and then we create a index on this column. After creating the index, there is no any full table scan perform on this table. Now let's execute same statement again. Before it was taking time. Now it's not taking time. It's executing in nanoseconds. Okay, you can see there. Execute in the nanoseconds. Okay. So now let's do the second one for optimizing the query by the tuning our memory parameters. Okay. By the use of this statement, we can check the all parameters in our database. define value of our parameters. Okay, these are the parameters already defined. Now let's define shared buffer to 1 GB, work underscore mem to 32 MB, and effective cache size to 4 GB. You can adjust this as per your environment, as per availability of memory in your environment. Now let's change in it. It will use the swap, no issue. That's environment for me. Just exit and log into VI. This is my PostgreSQL configuration file. Just one last on it and put this parameter in it. Now save this file. And after this, we have to restart the Postgres. This is a shell script I have. It will restart the Postgres database. Now this parameter has been restarted. Okay. Now again, so okay, TSQL. So I have successfully changed these parameters. Okay, these are memory parameters. We can change in Postgres database for tune up the memory requirement, for tune up the performance, for tune up the our Postgres database. Okay, it will also resolve your performance issue for Postgres, Post, Postgres database. Okay, okay, the value will be changed as per your environment. Okay, and the last one is we have to check the hardware resources for our Postgres database server. Let me show you. We have to check top. From this we can check the CPU utilization of our database. Okay, currently I don't have any query. Now let's execute some query on the city. Okay, I don't have a index on the city. Now let's execute some query like this. Okay, okay, now let's re-log in on it. Okay, you see that the CPU utilization is increased, is 17.7. Now it decreases. Okay, so you need to check which one process is using the more CPU. Okay, so after that you can find out the performance issue of CPU. If the CPU is more high in your database environment, so you have to check which process is taking more CPU. Okay, just give you one more example. Let's suppose you find out the process ID, this one is taking time. You can check es minus ef grep and the process ID, and you can check the the process ID from this statement. Okay, and the last one is we need to check VM state minus one. From this we can check the IO issues. Okay, let's suppose just execute this statement and SQL. We have to check this column IO and this one. Currently we don't have any IO issue in my database. So now let's execute the statement like this. Okay, if you see we have IO issue. Okay, the some IO is performing because why is I don't have an index on it, and the Postgres database performing full table scan on this column. So when we execute this statement, it will performing IO. Okay, so we need to check which one process is taking is using is performing IO operations, more IO operations. We have to find out those process by the use of this statement. So first one we have to check the CPU utilization by the use of top, and second one we can check the IO operation by the use of VMS state one. One means it will refresh every second. Okay, you can change the value from this. It will refresh after 5. Okay, so you can change as per your requirement. So I hope these three options is very useful for you. First one is I show you how we can monitor our SQL and how we can check the execution plan or of our SQL. And second one, I also show you how we can increase the database memory parameters. And last one, I also show you how we can check the CPU and IO at OS level to find out the performance issue in our database. Thanks for watching my video.